Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nature with You. I'm your host, Abby. Today I will be talking with my friend Dylan. Dylan has a passion for outdoors, fishing, and conservation. He is an aquatic biologist for the state of PA and wants you to go outside, enjoy this wonderful country, and catch a big one. Enjoy! Where do you feel most connected to nature?
So I feel most connected to nature up in Cooks Forest, PA. That is where I grew up and fell in love with nature. We had a little camp up there in the ANF, which is the Allegheny National Forest. That's where you can find bears to bobcats to
Oh,
coyotes that are the size of wolves to anything in between.
have you seen those yourself?
Yes.
What happened?
So when I was little, we would always go out spotting and with the light at night, and we saw many bears on many occasions.
Oh,
And
wow.
the one night we seen a bear, and then 50 feet down the road, we seen a bobcat just sitting right along the side of the road, right behind the tree, and it was one of the most magical things I ever seen.
Oh my gosh. And do you are you in a car or are you just walking?
Yeah, we're in a car. We were
Okay.
just driving around. Like up there is a lot of dirt roads in the middle of
Uh-huh.
nowhere. There's literally more deer than humans.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, not me thinking you were literally walking around the woods with no protection looking for bears and bobcats. That's
Um,
so cool.
But like ever since I grew up going there, I try to go back there every year, whether it's to hunt deer, whether it's to just go up there and fish a little bit just to reconnect with my youth.
That's so nice.
This past year when I was up there deer hunting, I had a mom black bear and three cubs come within 50 feet of me while I'm just sitting there on the ground watching them play on a log. And it was
Oh.
one of the most amazing things I ever seen.
Oh. Were they aware of you at all?
They were. Once they got a little too close, I stood up because I was a little scared that they were
Yeah.
going to come at
Yeah,
me.
definitely. Because the mom's gonna be super protective of her
Yep.
cubs. Yeah. And then they just went off on their way.
Yeah, they just looked at me and then they just mosey on along the other way.
So, how I'm assuming that your family talked to you about what to do if like an animal came at you if you were intentionally going out and spotting. So, what would you do?
If a black bear does come at you, you're supposed to stand up and act very big and try to intimidate it.
Okay.
Doesn't always work. Most of the time it does, but the main case is that they are more scared of you than you are of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'll just run away. It's the nuisance ones, that the ones that like people hand feed all the time in their backyard,
Mm,
that become a problem.
that are somehow like slightly domesticated in a weird way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And bobcats and coyotes, are you just kind of out of luck?
They're normally more elusive and they won't, if they have really good eyesight and won't come in if they see you, because
Okay.
they're after different things. Like the one time we were hunting deer and like coyotes were chasing deer right in front of us
Oh,
up
oh
there.
my gosh. That's
And
cool.
like you have to manage some population of some animals.
Yeah. I love that that is something like in Pennsylvania because
Yep.
and at Penn State I went to Tanzania to study abroad and I like saw not the same animals but I saw lions hunting gazelles or wildebeests or whatever and it was just so cool to be in like an uninterrupted natural area and
Yep.
I feel like people think oh you have to go somewhere like Tanzania to be able to experience that but you're describing it right now in
Good old Pennsylvania up in by Clarion, PA,
nice.
Cooks Forest.
And so obviously if your family took you there each year your parents value nature as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that
Like,
must have made things a little easier to get into it yourself.
yep. So like my parents always said, it's like anytime we go in the woods and see like a piece of trash or anything, you always want to bring the trash out with you because you always want to leave it a better place than when you go in there.
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
love
how I
that.
was always raised. That's how I was always taught, and I still do that to this day.
Yeah, it's so true. You just want to leave it better than you found it
Yep.
because We're just visiting in
I
their
want my kids to
space.
enjoy the same thing that I enjoyed.
Definitely. Yeah. Love that. So where do you stay when you go up there?
So we used to have my parents used to own a little camp up there,
Okay, like a little
but my
cabin or something.
little cabin, yeah. But my dad owned it with a bunch of his buddies, and we since sold that, and now
Mm.
we rent a cabin out of the DCNR park, which is just like
Oh.
an Indian cabin, which is like a wood cabin,
Uh-huh.
and they're pretty cheap because they're through the state.
Oh, okay. And when I'm guessing when you go up there, there's not really access to technology, or it's not very, the house isn't very tricked out. Like you're probably using limited resources and stuff.
Yes, a lot of the places are you have to the warmth comes from like fireplaces inside.
Mm-hmm.
There is no cell service. Like you can't call, you can't text, you can't do anything. It's like a dead zone up there, which is also makes it truly magical also. It
Mm-hmm.
gets you away from technology.
I like that those things go hand in hand because it just really allows you to experience all of what you just described and not be distracted.
Yeah, without the distractions.
How do you usually feel after those trips?
Relieved.
Mm?
It feels like a weight lifted off your shoulders. Oh, I can't wait to go back.
Yep.
That was truly amazing.
Yeah. I had a feeling you were going to say that. What are you doing when you feel most connected to nature?
So when I feel most connected to nature, I feel I am doing mainly like hunting and fishing activities. So in recent years, it has been more fishing than hunting. In my youth, it was more hunting than fishing.
What made you go into fishing more?
I think the competitive aspect of fishing,
Yes. Yeah, you
like,
compete a lot.
yeah, that allowed me to fall in love with it. I quit all sports at high school, go
Mhm.
into fishing, and was homeschooled for 2 years and got to travel to a lot of great places.
Yeah. Where have you gone through fishing?
Oh, I went to Arizona to Kentucky to Mississippi to Florida. I went to Michigan, Maine,
Wow, yeah. What has been the
been around.
most beautiful place that you've fished? Competitively, I
So,
guess.
so every place has its own majestic, like gorgeous. No, I don't know how to.
Its own
It's
vibe.
it has its own vibe. Every place has its own vibe. Like I go to Kentucky Lake, which is amazing, which is closest kind of PA,
Yeah.
but it, like you can catch smallmouth and you can catch largemouth there, and I have a hard time falling in love with anywhere else besides PA because
Yeah.
PA is home to me.
Yeah. That's special. Are there a lot of competitions or tournaments in PA?
Yeah, there's a lot of local trails. They try to come. We have one of the world class fisheries, the Susquehanna River here. So one of the big trails try to come there at least once a year,
Okay.
if not twice.
Could you like describe a basic day, a basic tournament fishing day?
Oh, you wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. You you go to your launch. Normally, my tournaments are out of a kayak, so we have a whole bunch of launches that you can choose from. So I normally already know what launch I'm going to go to. So I wake up as early as possible. It'll be the first one at that launch. And launch is normally at 6 a.m. and then you start fishing at 6:30. So I want to be ready by 5:30, get on the water at 6, get to my spot at 6:30, and then start fishing.
So you plan ahead and you probably get to the location like 2, 3 days before?
Yeah, so I'd probably get there 2, 3 days before, practice fishing a little bit, figure out where on the lake that I want to target, and then tournament day, that's where I'll be at.
Okay. And then you just start catching them.
Hopefully. Sometimes it doesn't always go as planned.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Arizona, I figured them out pre-fishing. I caught many fish, and then tournament came around, cold front came through, the wind blew the opposite direction, and 2 day tournament, I didn't catch a single fish each day.
Wow.
And I drove whole way out to Arizona for that, to not catch a fish.
So what does the cold front have to do with not being able to catch fish?
It's just how they position the fish. Like bass are just like humans; they do not like the cold.
Mm.
They will go to deeper water to try to find warmth because the sun only affects a certain depth of the water column.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
How long do you normally stay at a spot? Like, how long are you willing to hope and wish it goes well?
It depends how patient I am. Sometimes it can turn on in 15 minutes. Other times you have to wait 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
But once it does turn on, it's like you can catch 5 fish like within 10 minutes.
Yeah. And how long do they go normally?
Normally they start around 6:30 and like you have to end at 2:30.
Okay.
And then be off the water by 3:30.
And if you're kayak fishing, is it just all based on the honor system?
So it's based on you take a picture of it on like a big roller pretty much.
Okay.
And it goes by length. And then you take a picture, and based on that picture, they pull off the metadata from that picture, like where it was taken, what time of day, and if that picture was altered or not. And then they find fish.
Okay. And then compared to a boat, that's when you keep them in the wells and
in the well, yes.
Weigh them.
Yes, this is just like catch, photo, release. So you catch it, take a picture, and release it right where you caught it.
Okay. Do you like kayak fishing more, or do you like using a boat?
The boat, you can go to a lot more places on the lake. Kayak, you have to dial into one cove because you can't travel as far. I think I prefer the kayak fishing over the boat fishing.
Okay.
Just because of the fact that you have to dial in the fishery more to figure them out more because you can't travel as far in the kayak.
Yeah.
So it's basically winter. Like you won the tournament 75% of the time before you even started based on your pre-fish. So if you found like the spot, then you normally know if you're going to win or lose before the tournament even starts, depending on weather.
Yeah. Yeah. Have there been any like freak storms that have like really impacted tournaments?
Oh yeah, I was in Arkansas one time and they had to cancel the one day. They had a tornado come through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then lightning. If there's lightning, you have to they cancel it because of that. Or winds, they cancel it because of that.
Do you think?
So
go ahead.
I was just going to say you're at the mercy of Mother Nature pretty much all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you think there's been less like opportunities to actually catch fish based on changes in the weather?
It's been making it more difficult to catch them because they roam more frequently now, and there's been a lot of cold fronts and warm fronts back to back that kind of get them all. They don't know what to do, especially in the spring and when they spawn.
Okay, so you think there's more of an impact during the spring season?
Yeah, they spawn at a certain temperature, and once that temperature hits, you'll have bass start moving up. But then, like, you have another cold front come in. The bass will leave their beds, and if they already laid eggs, those eggs are never going to make it.
Oh, okay. So have there been declines in bass populations?
They have been, but the state organizations do a lot of conservation work to help with stocking and managing and help with the creel limits, like harvesting. A lot of the damage is done by the harvesting of the bass. So all your locals fishing at the bridges. And so that's why they have the daily creel limits now.
Okay.
Or if they have a slot limit that you can only catch like one over 25 inches and the rest have to be under 15 or something like that. That's to try to help the population.
Okay. Do you think people really follow those?
I think yes, because I think they patrol them a lot more because they write pretty hefty tickets if you don't.
Okay. Like how much?
Couple $100, and then if you're caught with over the fish, you have to pay restitution for that fish.
Okay.
Every fish you're over, you have to pay. You basically have to pay money because you took a fish that wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I just like learning how all this works because it's easy to have rules, but enforcing them is where it's difficult. So that's good to hear.
You're always going to have rule breakers, and someone can't patrol everywhere all the time, but. They try to keep up on it, but again,
as long as the majority of people are following the rules, it should be given the bass a chance and you a chance to catch them.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I never like to keep bass either. If
Yeah.
I do keep a bass, it's going to be like a 12-incher over the big ones, because I let the big ones, they can spawn more at a time. So it allows them to keep going and keep their big genetics out there.
Yeah. Just for a frame of reference for people listening who don't know anything about bass fishing, what is a considered like a big bass?
We'll go anything over 10 pounds.
Okay.
And it also depends on your state, because like different states have different programs. Because say for Texas, for example, they have a big bass lunker program where they, every 13-pound bass caught, they take it and do genetic research on it.
Oh, okay.
And then they try to breed that strand of bass. Basically, if they can keep the 13-pounder alive, they'll keep it alive, breed it, and stock all those offspring.
Okay, I see. And they're generally successful at
Producing big bass, yeah.
Yeah.
They grow
Okay.
faster in a shorter amount of time. And yeah, Texas is known for 13-plus pound bass.
Okay. Is it less impressive because you know that they were like grown in a lab or something, or nobody really cares?
I don't think no one cares that much,
Okay.
because you have the northern strand of bass, which is basically what we have up in PA. They can survive colder temperatures. And then the southern strand of bass, otherwise known as the F1 strand, is they grow a lot faster, a lot quicker, and they've been trying to stock that strand further and further north to see how they do. And they just find that they just shut off in the colder temperatures, and then the northern strand actually does better up north than anywhere else.
What is your favorite memory of being outside?
Just like one of the worst and best times of me being in nature was I lost a 10-pound bass, at least a 10-pound bass on a frog right next to a beaver dam. The bass literally came whole way out of the water and down onto the frog, and I set the hook and there was no bass there.
Oh no.
But I still dream about it. I still have nightmares about it, and it is, yeah.
How
really
long
amazing.
ago was it?
Oh, this was when I was like 16 years old, and
And
I'm
you
25
still
now.
think about it?
Still think about it.
I'm sure that's hilarious. That cracks me up that how you guys are so set on that. But that's cool that there's a beaver dam.
Yeah, I was right next to the beaver dam. And the beaver was tormenting me all day, too. He'd come right up next to me, smack his tail right next to me, and then go back underwater. And I'd be like, okay, buddy, I'll get away.
He's get the hell away from my dam.
Yeah.
The beaver and the bass, they conspired to just make you
did.
have the worst day, I think.
They did.
That's so funny. That's a great story, though.
But another one would probably be, it's on the same lake. So this all happened on Kentucky Lake. That is also in Tennessee and Kentucky. It's on the border. But I was floating a stream there, and it was truly amazing because I caught the largest smallmouth of my life in this stream. It was 22 inches, and I took a picture of it, and then I had 8 more miles to go, and I flipped my kayak.
Oh.
And my phone got ruined, and I have no picture of the biggest smallmouth I ever caught in this stream.
Oh my.
But to this day, if I could go back anywhere into nature and float another river, it would be that river again.
It's almost like poetic that you don't have a photo of it because it's just like for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I hope people believe you, right?
Yeah. You always are going to have your fish stories.
Yeah.
But I can truly say this is not a fish story. This is the truth, and that's what happened. But I'm the only one that knows that's what happened.
Do you flip your kayak often, or is that...
Oh, no, it happens on very rare occasions.
Okay. Only when you catch an extremely impressive fish.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So sometimes when you do new waters that you haven't floated before, you got to look out for trees that are down in the water or low-head dams. You got to do research. Low-head dams are easy to research because they've been there for a long time. Trees can fall overnight. You never know.
Yeah, you gotta stay vigilant.
That's what happened to my case was a tree fell, and I thought I could get under the one side, and my one thing got caught against a tree and just flipped me over
Oh, yeah.
in the
And
current.
you have a motor on your kayak, right? You're not.
I do, but I did not at that time.
Oh,
I do
okay.
now. I did not at that time.
Wow. So you would be fishing and like paddling yourself.
Yep.
You must have slept well each of those
Oh,
nights.
yes.
Yeah. That's wild.
When you have to paddle, you tend to do float trips on rivers. So you don't have to paddle much. You just
Yeah.
paddle like to where you want to float at, and then you can float along the one bank and fish that bank.
What is your favorite type of plant, animal, or landscape?
Favorite animal has to be the bass because that's what I've been targeting after a while. That's what I fell in love with,
Yeah.
and that's what I love. That's why I became a fisheries biologist to
Mhm.
help with bass populations and, again, help for future generations to come.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So I originally started out as a fisheries biologist at the PA Fish and Boat Commission. I was doing habitat work, so where we would go to like polluted ag streams, help farmers put in fish habitat devices, which also allowed them to build a riparian zone, a buffer zone. So all the sediment would be collected on the banks and not sent down to the Chesapeake Bay.
Nice.
So I did that for 3 years. And then I got a job within DEP doing aquatic biologist work within vector management, where we like manage black fly populations, those little nuisance flies, as well as collected ticks for diseases.
And what do black fly populations tell us about stream health?
If the stream is very good water quality, the black fly population will be very high.
Okay. So we want
If it is
them there.
You do, which, yes.
Okay.
So since a lot of the streams in PA had a lot of bad acid minus drainage, like back in like the 1900s, since then they did a lot of like conservation work and remediation to fix that problem. And a lot of the streams are becoming delisted as impaired, and which is causing more and more black flies to live in these streams. And so a lot of more complaints are coming in throughout all the counties that we have to help manage these fly populations.
Okay, so they're a good thing, but they annoy people trying to enjoy. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So how do
But
you
I don't know if you so a lot of people don't know what a black fly is. A black fly, otherwise known as a gnat, is if you're ever outside and like you're breathing, they're the little ones that just keep flying around your face, the little tiny guys.
Oh yeah, those things are annoying as heck. Yeah. But how do you, I guess, help with that?
So they live in their habitat is fast flowing water, and they have to have warm water streams. So like the bigger rivers. We go to these riffles, we collect samples, we send them off, and then they count how many are in that sample. We normally do like a 15-minute sample. Count how many are in that sample, and then they'll ID them, because there's also like a whole bunch of different species of flies, of black fly. We are only targeting one species, which is the Jennings eye complex.
Okay.
It's a Jennings eye complex. There's other species within that complex, but we're only targeting that one complex.
Gotcha.
Because they are the only ones that go after humans. All the other ones will go after like birds, other mammalian hosts, because they need a blood meal in order to lay eggs.
Okay.
Is why they go after humans and other people. But so we get this information, see how many are there. If Jennings eye are present and in numbers, we'll then treat with this BTI, which is an all organic material, and the flies are filter feeders, so the material just goes right through them and only targets the fly. So that's the only thing it kills, that's the only thing it hurts. We then come back in the fall and do other macro work to make sure it's not harming anything else, which it is.
Okay. You're just doing this won't impact the ecosystem or like the health of the stream or anything.
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
People get nervous when we spray this material out of a helicopter on these rivers, but
Oh
it's all
yeah.
organic material, nothing harmful about it.
Yeah. That just probably seems like unsettling or a little
Hmm.
dystopian to see something getting sprayed out of a helicopter, but that's good to know.
Yeah, all
And
for that little fly.
all for the little fly, yeah. Do you do all of this out of a boat or a kayak or?
You could do it out of either. Like in the Susquehanna River, they take the boat out, they take kayaks out. I've took kayaks out. Normally, you can just walk to a lot of the places. Like
Okay.
a lot of the places are at like boat ramps or something like that. We just
Hmm.
have to walk upstream a little bit to a riffle or something like that.
But would you say the majority of your tasks are completed outside?
Yeah, every day I'm outside.
That's
So
nice.
actually, the one day at work, I was up in Benezet, and it was honestly, again, one of the truly amazing nature moments.
Yeah.
Is I was in the middle of the stream, and I was collecting the black fly sample, and I looked behind me, and there's a massive elk,
Oh my gosh.
full bull elk with horns and everything, 25 feet behind me in the middle of the stream. And if you don't, and Benezet is also another area that's truly just nature there. There's
Yeah.
nothing around. And that was also amazing. I wish I had my phone to take a picture, but I couldn't.
Another experience just for you.
Yep, another experience just for me.
Oh gosh, elk are huge.
They are huge, and I was scared
Yeah.
a little bit for my life.
I was gonna say, do they ever charge at people?
Yes.
Yeah.
When frightened, did not seem too frightened by my little guy, my little ass over there.
That's good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I actually, a bear charged at me once, and
Oh,
thankfully there was like, so I landscaped for a few summers in high
yeah,
school and college,
yeah,
and on the one property there was a fence between us, but we were all outside the fence. It was just kind of like we were around it, and
yeah,
the bear was on the other side, and then we were squatting down weeding, and we like all stood up because you need to take a break from bending over and weeding,
yeah.
and we just saw the bear, and the bear looked up at the same time we looked at the bear, and then started running towards us, but had to run around the gate. So we just ran like in, we either ran into our cars or inside the gate, but there's really nothing more humbling than getting charged at by an animal.
No, it definitely puts you in your place. You're like, oh yeah, that could really hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah. That was crazy. What is something you want people to know about nature?
Is that it is a resource that we have available to us, and we need to take care of our resource for our kids because we are all enjoying it now. And I definitely want my kids and their kids
Hmm.
forever enjoy what we witnessed.
Yeah.
If not, I want it to be better than what we witnessed.
Yeah.
So just don't let your pet fish into the streams. We're seeing a big problem with this down in Florida with all the Mayan cichlids and the flecko catfish. Since they have tropical-ish water down there that the fish can survive, we're not
Mm.
seeing that so much up here with our cold temperatures, but definitely down there in Florida, it's doing a lot of damage.
Interesting.
But up this way, we have flathead catfish who are invasive. They're doing a very big deal of damage on the Susquehanna River with all the smallmouth bass. Just enjoy these resources while we got them, and let's make them better for our future generations.
Yes, I love that. What do you know about climate change?
Climate change is making temperatures in PA warmer, which is allowing ticks, like different breeds of ticks from the south, to work their way up, bringing more diseases into PA. For example, the Lone Star tick came up from Michigan and came down up from Maryland and the southern states and are working their way into PA now, and it carries a disease known as alpha gamma, which makes you allergic to all red meat.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
And that's basically what I can see going on, is that they are working their way more and more up north.
And that affects all of us because that would be pretty bad if we were allergic to all meat or red meat, you said. Yeah. Interesting.
All mammalian byproducts.
Yeah.
So like milk, dairy.
Oh, wow. That would change a lot.
You can eat chicken and poultry.
Okay. Interesting. And you've seen these ticks yourself up in?
I personally have not.
Okay.
I know they're more in the southern part of the state right now.
Okay.
But I know someone from State College, his wife has the syndrome, alpha gamma syndrome.
Oh, okay. So it's definitely a thing, and people.
But they are from New Jersey.
Okay.
So I don't know if they got it in New Jersey or what.
Okay, interesting. And I asked you this before, but have you noticed any other impacts of the changing temperatures, changing environment, changing climate on your bass fishing?
That's for sure. Some lakes, it affects more hard than others. But like the climate change is definitely in the spring, is when you don't have a stable spring with a stable warming trend, bass population take a hurt because they don't know when to spawn or when not to spawn.
Oh, yeah. And do they do that every year? They spawn every year?
Yeah, they spawn every year when the water temperature gets around 55.
So if they can't spawn one year, it affects your experience for the whole rest of that year.
They'll still try to spawn.
Okay.
Whether it's successful or not is depending on nature.
Okay, I see. Where are you most exposed to like conversations about climate change or like knowledge about climate change?
Oh, we do a lot of studies at work.
Okay.
Comparing data from previous years.
Okay, nice. Is it ever mentioned in the bass fishing community when you're at a tournament or something, or I don't know if they send out?
Not as much in that scene, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. But maybe it's talked about, just not explicitly connected to climate change.
I know, like in the bass fishing scene, they do a lot more on like conservation with like habitat restoration, help with that.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Nature with You. If you're interested in more episodes, go check out my channel on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. If you're looking for more content, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.